Stop. Breathe. Look up. What you are witnessing is not stone, it is a vision, an echo of the primordial. These are the Dolomites, and they have a color that belongs only to the final fleeting moments of the sun, a blush of impossible rose, a fire caught in the ancient rock. They call this phenomenon Enrosadira, the mountains turning pink. For a moment, the stone softens, the impossible cliffs shed their severity, and the world is rendered in hues of rose gold and amethyst. This is where the Earth's crust tore open and lifted a forgotten seabed into the sky. This is where sheer vertical beauty carves the horizon, where peaks, pinnacles of magical Dolomia stab the crisp alpine air. We are standing at the edge of majesty, where the scale of nature silences the voice and frees the soul. Welcome to the Pale Mountains, the beating heart of the Italian Alps. Welcome to a journey with Traveller Touhid, where we seek not just landmarks, but the stories etched into the very stone of the world. Our story begins not with man, but with time, a span so vast it beggars the imagination. 250 million years ago, where this sharp, cold air now whispers, a warm tropical sea shimmered. These towering monoliths, the Sassolungo, the Tofane, the Tre Cime di Lavaredo, were once nothing more than coral reefs, vibrant Mesozoic organisms quietly secreting calcium carbonate. This distinct rock, named Dolomite after the French geologist Déodat Gratte de Dolomieu, is a unique blend of calcium and magnesium carbonate. For millennia, these ancient reefs sank, compressed and solidified, only to be lifted violently during the Great Alpine Orogeny, the tectonic collision that shaped Europe. The earth convulsed and the seabed rose, forming what the early mountaineers called the most beautiful mountain architecture in the world, a landscape of verticality and drama. Every ridge, every sheer, pale cliff is a gravestone for a forgotten ocean. But stone alone is not enough to fuel legend. The locals, the people who have lived in the shadow of these peaks for generations, needed a story to match the magnificence. And so, the myths were born. They speak of the Kingdom of Fanes, a prosperous and powerful community whose princess, Dola, was cursed to flee the light of the moon, forcing the mountains to turn pale to hide her. The pale glow of the rock, the Enrosadira, became a symbol of a promise and a heartbreak, the faint light of the moon reflected on the hidden kingdom. This magical, poetic explanation filled the silence long before geology provided its complex mineral-based answer. From these stories and the deep connection to the land emerged a unique cultural identity, primarily Ladin, a Romance language and culture that has preserved its customs and traditions within these isolated valleys, a truly precious European heritage. For centuries, these mountains were a formidable barrier, not a playground. They were feared, revered, and traversed only by necessity. Medieval travelers spoke of a hostile, bewildering landscape. It wasn't until the 19th century, with the golden age of Alpinism, that the world truly discovered the Dolomites. Explorers like Paul Groman and Leslie Stephen ventured into the craggy heart of the range, charting routes and scaling impossible peaks. This was the era of conquest, of placing a flag on the summit, driven by a Victorian spirit of adventure. The Dolomites, with their distinctive tori and campanili, offered a unique challenge, unlike the rounded granite of other ranges. They demanded a new kind of climbing, one that relied on precision, courage, and a deep respect for the sheer exposure of the rock face. The reverence, however, was violently interrupted. The sublime beauty of the Dolomites conceals a haunting history, the bloodiest chapter of its existence. When World War I broke out in 1915, these peaks became the front line between the Austro-Hungarian and Italian forces. This was the Alpine Front, a war fought not just against the enemy, but against the elements. The stone that had been a playground for pioneers now became a fortress. Soldiers endured unspeakable hardships, fighting in freezing trenches carved into glaciers, scaling cliffs to establish observation posts, and hauling artillery through blizzards. This was the White War. They drilled tunnels through mountainsides, creating the Galleria Lagazzoi, and fought above 3,000 meters. More soldiers died from avalanches, cold, and exhaustion than from enemy fire. Today, hiking through the Dolomites means walking through an open-air museum of conflict. The Via Ferrata routes, climbing paths equipped with cables and ladders, are a direct legacy of this brutal, high-altitude conflict, once used to move troops, now a thrilling path for the modern adventurer. Every peak, every pass is a silent monument to the tens of thousands who fell here. The mountains hold their memory. The stories of the Kaiserjäger and the Alpini are whispered on the wind. It is a powerful reminder that even the most beautiful places on Earth can be tragically marked by human conflict. They drilled tunnels through mountainsides, creating the Galleria Lagazzoi, and fought above 3,000 meters. More soldiers died from avalanches, cold, and exhaustion than from enemy fire. Today, hiking through the Dolomites means walking through an open-air museum of conflict. The Via Ferrata routes, climbing paths equipped with cables and ladders, are a direct legacy of this brutal, high-altitude conflict, once used to move troops, now a thrilling path for the modern adventurer. Every peak, every pass is a silent monument to the tens of thousands who fell here. The mountains hold their memory. The stories of the Kaiserjäger and the Alpini are whispered on the wind. It is a powerful reminder that even the most beautiful places on Earth can be tragically marked by human conflict. Fortunately, the Dolomites' destiny was not to remain a battleground. Its universal value was recognized and formally acknowledged. In 2009, the 9 magnificent groups of the Dolomites were declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The inscription was not just for its exceptional natural beauty, the verticality, the dramatic valleys, the unique pale rock, but for its outstanding geological and geomorphological significance, a pristine record of Triassic history. This was the moment the Pale Mountains finally achieved their global status as a jewel of our planetary heritage, cementing their place as a region of natural conservation and cultural pride. Today, the Dolomitic world is defined by its living wonders. The Tre Cime di Lavaredo, 3 peaks of Lavaredo, stand as the uncontested icon. 3 massive fingers pointing skyward, a visual testament to the power of erosion and rock composition. They draw pilgrims from every corner of the globe. Further west, the Marmolada, the queen of the Dolomites, commands attention. At over 3,343 meters, it is the highest peak and home to the region's largest glacier. Below these giants, the landscape unfolds into vast, sweeping alpeggi, alpine meadows bursting with wildflowers in the short summer season. The air is intoxicating, filled with the scent of pine and the distant, rhythmic clang of a cowbell, the ubiquitous sound of alpine life, a melody of peace. The villages nestled in the valleys are a study in alpine charm. CortinaDAmpezzo, the pearl of the Dolomites, is a blend of traditional architecture and sophisticated modernity, preparing once more to host the world for the Winter Olympics. Here, the unique South Tyrolean culture, a fascinating blend of Italian warmth and Austrian precision, where German, Italian, and Ladin are spoken, flourishes. The architecture is distinctive: sturdy wooden chalets with steeply pitched roofs, intricate carvings, and geraniums spilling from every balcony. This is a region that understands how to live with the seasons, celebrating the long, warm days of hiking and via ferrata climbing, and embracing the deep snows for world-class skiing and snowboarding. The modern visitor seeks not conquest, but connection. They seek the emotional high of standing on a summit, feeling both infinitesimally small against the backdrop of the massive stone and profoundly at peace within the vast stillness. The emotional experience is what truly defines a trip here. It is the challenge of the Alta Via trails, multi-day trekking routes that test the body and clear the mind. It is the delicious, simple sustenance of mountain refuges, rifugi, where a hot bowl of CinematicDocumentary, dumplings, and a glass of local wine taste like the finest meal on earth. It is the simple moment of absolute stillness, when the clouds part and the sheer pale faces of the Puez Odal group appear, bathed in morning light. A feeling of Ehrfurcht, a German word for a deep, profound awe mixed with fear and respect, is inescapable. The Dolomites remind us of the enduring, majestic power of nature and our fleeting place within it. But this beauty is fragile. Our journey must address the shadow that falls across these pale peaks: climate change. The MarmoladaGlacier, the very symbol of alpine endurance, is receding at an alarming rate. Scientists predict that this iconic ice sheet may vanish entirely within the next few decades. The once permanent snowfields are shrinking, impacting the local hydrology and the delicate alpine ecosystem. This is the urgent call of the Dolomites, a warning etched in ice. The human footprint also poses a challenge. The popularity that comes with UNESCO status and viral social media posts brings pressure. Over-tourism threatens the very tranquility that people come here to seek. The local communities and authorities are grappling with the vital balance between economic benefit and environmental sustainability. This is not a landscape to be exploited, but one to be protected, cherished, and treated with the utmost respect. Sustainable tourism is not a buzzword here, it is an imperative. We must embrace the slow travel ethos, prioritize local businesses, and practice leave no trace principles. When we walk these trails, we are not just visitors. We are temporary custodians of an ancient, vulnerable kingdom. The sun sets and the pink fire retreats from the stone. The mountains return to their pale, ghost-like gray. They wait. They have witnessed oceans rise and fall, ice ages begin and recede, and the brief, tumultuous history of humanity. They are monuments to deep time, towering beacons of geological fortitude. To stand here is to feel the weight of millions of years in the palm of your hand. The Dolomites are more than a destination, they are a profound emotional experience, a spiritual tonic, a historical ledger, and a living, breathing cathedral of stone. We came seeking landmarks, but we leave with a deeper understanding of fragility and resilience. These mountains whisper of both creation and destruction, of ancient legends and modern warnings. The challenge is now ours, to protect this masterpiece so that the next generation can still witness the impossible magic of the Enrosadira. Go, explore responsibly, leave nothing but footprints, and take nothing but memories. This world is a tapestry of wonders. If this journey into the Pale Mountains stirred your soul, if the call of the wild echoes in your heart, then join the mission. Click that subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and become part of the Traveller Touhid community. The Dolomites are just the beginning. There are 1,000 more horizons calling. Until the next journey, may your path be clear and your spirit free.